Hey there, I'm Sarah Bailey, and I hope you're having a great Tuesday today. I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit today about something that's been coming up an awful lot. It's headed towards the holidays. We're at the tail end of our year, and in these next couple months, a lot gets packed into them. So, one of the biggest questions that I get overall, but especially at this time of year, deals a lot with time management, work-life balance, life balance in general, and how to what to do about overwhelm. I'm sure at some point in your life you've had a feeling where there was just too much going on, and it's hard to manage everything, and one of the balls drops and it's a juggling act, and there's so many thoughts and cliches around this because it's so real, and it's very much something that happens to each of us at some point or another, and some more often than not. One of the most interesting things about this is that even the most organized person can feel overwhelmed because there's too much going on. When I was little, I remember grown-ups, adults telling me all the time, you can do whatever you want, you can be anything, you can do anything. And that's such a great and true statement. There's so many opportunities out there, so many things available, but sometimes what's happened is that gets lost a little bit in transition or translation, because over time, instead of saying you can, you are able, or there's the opportunity, it turns into you should. So instead of saying I can do it all, it turns more into you should do it all, you should do more, you can, so why aren't you, sort of feeling. And I feel like that kind of that's happened a lot, and I've talked with several folks about how that's showed up in their life, and one of the things is we oftentimes have several priorities, maybe top three, but there are 5, 6, 7 large priorities in our life, and that's not unusual. But what happens is there is only 24 hours in a day and 7 days in a week, and so when we start adding either obligations or adding commitments to our day, going down to priority number 5, number 6, number 7, we're actually having to spend time doing those things and take care of the obligations that you have with those commitments that you made. And so the things that end up being left behind or left out or left undone are things like self-care, or time with your family, or religion, or sometimes even work. I've been speaking with some friends, and they were talking about how when they're one place, they're thinking about the things that they should do at home. When they're at work, they're thinking about home. When they're at home, they're thinking about work, or getting emails or texts about work. When they're volunteering, they're feeling, I should be doing this at work, or I should be at home with my family. And so there's never real presence in the moment or in what you're doing in the activity so that you can even enjoy it. So we're doing all these things, we're doing more things, but we're doing more things and getting less out of it, and there's less meaning because we're not invested in it, and we're not fully there and present and giving our 100%, or our contribution. So that's one of the biggest things that I think comes up, and especially at this time of year, because what happens is we're already juggling and balancing and trying to maintain order and keep track of all of our commitments and laundry, and taking care of ourselves, and the things that we have to do at home, the things we have to do at work, the things we do with our family, going to church on Sunday, volunteering, all the things that we're doing. And we're already struggling to do that. And here we are at the end of October, and we've got Halloween, which has turned into a giant event from when I was a child. There was one day, one thing, you go trick-or-treating and then you're done. But now it's parties and parades and all this stuff, which is also fun, but it's another thing and another thing and another thing to add to your already steady, what you're holding in balance, just barely, just by the skin of your teeth. So, and then once Halloween is over, then there's Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all the holidays, and all the parties and all the festivities involved, and going to mass and cooking a big dinner, and all these things that go along with it. So at this point, you're just barely hanging on, and then you're looking forward and saying, oh my gosh, I'm about to crash and burn, because I'm not doing this very well, and there's a ton more stuff that's about to come on me. So it's normal and natural that the feeling of overwhelm and the feel like the panicked need to get balance and management in your life, because what's coming is fast and furious. And so that's so totally understandable, and unfortunately for some of us, it happens every year, because we don't change how we deal with it or how we're solving this problem. We just make it through somehow, and things get left behind, and we're thinking, well, it must not have been that important anyway because it didn't get done. It's not that big of a deal. So instead of changing how we think about things and how we behave, we're just saying, okay, we made it through another one. Phew, we're good. And we start January over, and it's like it's out of sight, out of mind. It's gone. So then we repeat this pattern. And so that's the thing about overwhelm and balance in life, is it's really about the choices that we make. You can't go in, or you can, but I'm not saying to go in and quit everything that you do and just go on strike and I'm done, I'm just not doing anything. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you're doing the things that you do, stop and think about, is this meaningful to me? Is this something that's important to me? Does it line up with my values and priorities in life? And really get an honest answer. Ask yourself those sometimes hard questions and get the honest answer. And then you can say, okay, if this isn't for me, if this is just something more that I did, we feel like we have to do more to fill a void, when it's really, we're looking for meaning. And so we just add more obligations, more volunteer, more, just more stuff in general, instead of saying, okay, what I'm looking for is meaningful, more meaning, not just more stuff. And then we're able to say, okay, so this may not be for me. This is the remainder of my commitment to what I've said yes to. And what am I going to do at the end of that time period? What am I going to do to make sure it doesn't happen again? How am I going to gracefully bow out and say, I've appreciated the opportunity and happy to have helped, but at this point I'm going to opt out, or I have other obligations that I'm focusing on, that sort of thing. So you're really at that point giving yourself a boundary and saying, I'm only going to do things that are, honoring these top 3 or 4 priorities or values in my life. And does it check one of those boxes? And if not, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I really appreciate you thinking of me, but this isn't the time for me right now. It's okay to do that and say that and mean it. And people, you're not just blowing somebody off. You're just recognizing that you have to create boundaries in order to make proper choices, so that you're not going through the motions. And so you're not just running around like a chicken with your head cut off, and, it's Thanksgiving morning, and instead of being thankful for all your blessings in your family, you're screaming at everybody to clean up because the whole family's coming over to your house. Those are the times that we're opportunities to really be grateful and thankful and appreciative and enjoy. And those when things are overwhelming and too much, those are the first times that I'm not being stressful and too much and overwhelming. And so when you think about it this way, overwhelm and balance, all of this is all wrapped up in your boundaries, how you honor your own priorities in your life, and the choices that we make. So the better and wiser choices that we make, the less and less this is going to become a problem for you, and the more and more you're going to really enjoy your life. And that's really what it's all about, is just doing the things you love with the people that you love, and making it count. So I hope that helped today. If you like this, I'd love for you to share it and leave a comment. Also like the video, and tell me what you think and some of the things that maybe help you through overwhelming times. Thanks so much, and have a great day.